Hello family and friends, I'm Susan and welcome to my home. Hey everybody, it's Susan here, and it's starting to get fall, or at least all the stores think it's coming fall. All the decorations and everything, and that makes me want to make a good soup. And today we're going to be making chicken tortilla soup, one of my husband and my favorite soups. It's easy to put together and it tastes so good, and it's stores really well. I can usually make a batch of the soup and then store a couple containers full for later. So we get 3 or 4 meals out of it for just me and Danny. So let's get ready for some soup making. Ponytail up, let's get to cooking. The air's starting to get cooler and it's time to be thinking about soups. One of our favorite soups is Trisha Yearwoods Chicken Tortilla Soup. I've got all the ingredients. Now let me show you how easy it is to make. We're going to start with 4 chicken breasts, and we're going to boil, drain, and shred the chicken breast. We need 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, 1 medium onion, which all I had was 2 smalls, so I'm going to do both smalls, 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. I need 5 cups of chicken broth, which I'm going to use the chicken bouillon to make chicken broth out of the juice whenever I cook the chicken breasts. I need 4 cups of half and half, 1 can of cream of chicken soup. It says 1 cup prepared salsa. I use Rotel. It works just as well. In fact, my daughter's the one that turned me on to the Rotel. They like it better with the Rotel. 1 can of black beans, 1 can of kidney beans, 1 can of whole kernel corn. I need a teaspoon of ground cumin and 2.5 tablespoons of fajita seasoning, or 1 packet of seasoning, which I always just have the bulk fajita seasoning. And 3 tablespoons of butter, which I forgot from the very beginning. So we're going to go ahead and put the 4 chicken breasts into our pot. Go ahead and put some water in it, let it cook, and then get those shredded up. And then I'll show you how to use the juice off the chicken breast to make the chicken broth out of. So let's get started. I'm going to put in the 4 chicken breasts into the big pot. I've cut some of them up in half because they were huge. That's okay. It'll make lots of chicken for the chicken soup. I'm going to also add, I need 5 cups of chicken broth itself. So I'm going to go ahead and add 5 cups of water. By the time it cooks down, that should about be correct with the 5 cups of chicken broth, or 42 ounces, excuse me, of chicken broth. So now that is going on. I'm turning it on medium high, and I'm going to let this cook. I'm going to see in about 20 minutes how it looks, and then we'll go from there and see how this chicken is doing. And of course I'm covering it. So let's go ahead and get this cooking started. Okay, the chicken has cooked for about 20 minutes, and it is able to be pulled apart with tongs like that. It doesn't have to be fully cooked because it's going to cook a little bit more. Now I'm going to, if I can get it out of my tongs, okay. I'm going to get it on a plate, and then I'm going to show you how to utilize this broth that's in here. So all the chicken's on a plate. Put it aside to cool off so I can shred it. The next thing I'm going to do, which is why I love these spouts, is pour this into a big measuring glass. And that way the strainer can strain off all of the little bits and pieces on the top. And then I will have nothing but pure chicken juice on the bottom. Look at that. Okay, I've cleaned out the pot. And now it's time to make the homemade chicken broth. I need to do 5 cups of chicken broth. Now let me look and see how many cups of this I have. Okay, that is about 6. But that's okay, because it's going to cook down a little bit. So we're going to put that aside. I'm going to add 5 teaspoons of the chicken bouillon flavored Knorrs to that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And basically it's about a teaspoon of that to a cup of water is what it is. Now that will make a little over 5 cups of chicken broth, but that's okay, because by the time we cook it down, it'll utilize every bit of that. I'm going to go ahead and stir it around a little bit. And put that to the side, and then hit to the next portion. I've got the pan on medium. I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of butter in the pan. I'm going to add the 1 medium onion, which I had 2 smalls, which is right here, finely chopped. And the teaspoon of garlic, or minced garlic, that is. And I'm going to saute that until they're softened, and then we'll start with the next process. Okay, I've sauteed the butter, onions, and garlic for 5 minutes. I'm going to add the flour, which is 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, which I know y'all saw me get my container out. 1, 2, and I'm going to cook this for about 1 minute to get the flour taste out of the flour itself, which, if you see, it's absorbing all the butter and it's drying it up a little bit. It's been about a minute. And now the next thing is the chicken broth, which you saw me put your chicken bouillon in the chicken broth that had already been cooked, or the chicken juice. I'm going to add it in. Ooh, look how good and that looks good and flavorful. My goodness. So we've got that going on. Now we need to add the half and half, which is 4 cups, which is 32 full ounces of half and half. And all of that goes in. I'm going to stir this in real quick. All right. I'm going to go ahead and add my cream of chicken soup. The recipe calls for 1 cup of prepared salsa. I just use my Rotel Mexican style, like y'all know I do. And stir it in. It smells so good. Already, we ain't even put the spices in. Next is the 4 chicken breasts, boiled and shredded. I didn't realize I did 8 because I had double chicken breast in each pack, but that's okay. I'm just going to put half of it in. because it made a lot of chicken, and you know I can always use that chicken for something else. All right. Now we're adding black beans. 1 can of black beans, drained and rinsed. 1 can of kidney beans, drained and rinsed. And 1 can of whole kernel corn, just drained. 2 teaspoons of ground cumin. 1. 2. And 1 packet of fajita seasoning, which I don't buy it in the packet, I buy it in the big container, which means 2 tablespoons of fajita seasoning. And a half a teaspoon, which is probably about right because what just spilled in there. So it went ahead and put itself in there. So we have all the seasonings in there now. We just need to stir it in. Very flavorful. And now we want to turn it on low and let it simmer for 15 minutes. And then it'll be ready to eat. The soup is ready. Let's get it plated up. And what I like to do first is get out the bottom of the soup, which has the chicken and the beans in it, and put it in the plate. Okay. And now I like to get the broth out, which I usually just use a coffee cup to get the broth out, and pour it on top of the soup. Okay. So there is the chicken tortilla soup. I add some cheese on top, a little sour cream, and for me, I put some tortilla shells in. All right, chicken tortilla soup. Good, and warms you up inside when it's getting a little cooler outside. I hope you've enjoyed this video on the chicken tortilla soup. For those of you who are making the recipes with me and tell me how your recipes came out, that is so awesome. Leave comments below. Let me know if you're trying the recipes and how they did. And if you have any ideas of any other recipes that you'd like to see me do. Make you a big pot of chicken tortilla soup. Store the remainder. It's easy to heat up. All you do is whenever you put the container in the freezer, bring it back out, put it in a big pot, turn it on medium-low, and let the soup just heat back up. So quick and easy to make, and make multiple meals out of, especially if there's only a few of you. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and until next time, have a great week. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment if you'd like a return comment from me, and ring that bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos.